All right, so give him a little mini shampoo. Right now, I'm doing the scalp analysis. Scalp analysis, I'm checking to see if he got any wingworms, any kind of dry skin. Yes, sir. That was helpful. Come on and help me plug it up. Thank you so much. You can all use the same one. Okay. So now I got my cordless masters and I'm going to start. You want his beard still cut, right? No, you don't want his beard cut. So because you don't want his beard cut, I'm going to use my comb as the guard right here on this part. I'm going to probably come to about right here. Look. See where the ear is? See where the top of the beard, where it's thick at? So I'm going to just stop right there, come with my masters. And I'm going to use that as my basically my guideline to not go under that part. And I'm just going to use the clip right and go up against it. Now, what some people they do is they're scared to put the clip on the head because they're scared the clip might hurt the person. But you have to learn how to put it on there and take them strokes. You got to make every stroke count. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I like to do a section at a time. What I mean by that is some barbers start here, then they go there, then they go here. If you do one section at a time and you say, all right, I'm going to do the sides first. So this will be my section number one. And all I'm doing is going against the grain of the way the hair grows. Okay. Using my mirror. My mirror is my best. Your mirror is your best friend. However you cutting it, you always want to glance back at the mirror to see how it looks. And you want to start at the bottom. That's what I do. Come all the way up. Okay. So now this would be section two. So like if you start making a pattern, it's almost like y'all box, right? Y'all know how to hit the bag and stuff.
Yes.
So you know how you got combos? 1, 2, 1, 2. I know this ain't a real jab, but because he was laughing at my jab just now, like he was laughing at. But it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That way, you'll never lose. You know what I'm saying? You could get lost in a haircut, especially when you fade. All right. Can you put that there for me? All right. So now here I am by the air again. I want to use the comb so I don't go too low. Come right here. Boom. All right. Okay. So here was my combo. 1, 2, 3. Now number 4. So I break the head down into sections. Make sure the zone class can see. Now, once I complete the haircut, right, what I like to do is go over it. How many times I go over it, Mr. Hill? 3 times. Because you go over it 3 times, it's most likely you'll get every little thing that you missed. You know what I'm saying? So now, guess what? I'm going to go back to number 1, Mr. Coles. Even though it's already done, I'm just riding over it again. Now I'm going to number 2. Just catching any little hairs that I didn't catch. Keeping the clipper at the same level that I had. And if you hear that, hold up. That means you're still getting hair. All right. 1, 2. Now I'm on number 3. Section number 3. Section number 4. Okay. So now I pretty much went over it, right? But because I want to be a good barber and I want to be safe, one more time. Number 1.
You said that's a light thing, right?
No, this is a light hustler. A light hustler, number 1. Caesar. It's also called a Caesar. Caesar is a New York terminology. That's what they call a hustler in Philly. Like in Philly, we call it a hustler. Yeah. But see, then the Philly came with the 360 waves and we start calling it a dark hustler. You know what I mean? That's what we call it now. They'll call it a dark Caesar in New York. Thank you, my
And when you get into the barber history, you start talking about it too. Caesar and all of them. Back to war, man. Julius Caesar was the first. I was staying in the barber book and talking about Caesar.
welcome John up. Yo. You said it's the sections of the head? 4. 1. 1 is the side. 2 is the back. 3 is the side. 4 is the top. That's real simple, real easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're gonna get to the shape up part. Okay. Now the shape up part, you know how you see a lot of barbers, they have the white outline around the hairline. A lot of barbers use makeup. Some use all different types of stuff. So, but what it really is the ash line of the dry skin. So, what we do is take your Sanex, right? Take your Sanex and you moisten that bad boy. You're nice and moist. All right. Now you want to wipe around the hairline. Everywhere where you know that you got to shape it up. Even the beard. You take it and you just wipe it. And see what the sea breeze or the alcohol is doing is drying the skin. Drying the skin. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to take my dryer. Take my dryer. Put it on high. And I'm going to hold it away from the client and cover his face. And you just run around and shape up. Nice and dry. All right. Now you're gonna come with the spritz. Okay, there's different types of spritz. So this one says firm hold. If you spray too much of it, it'll clog up your clippers and you won't be able to shape up. So usually I like to use a light spritz. So if you're using a firm hold spritz, you just spray lightly. Okay. Now, take your hair dryer. All right. Okie dokie. So, yo, where are those mounts? Can you give me them outliners with the blue stripe on them? Hey, Mr. Coles, your clippers ain't plugged up.
Yeah, I was still setting them out here. My station up and I ain't gonna had the wires.
No, set them Jones up for haircuts. They can't work unless they plugged up.
Yeah. No,
Don't you have any? Don't you have already have outliners out there?
But I'm talking about his. Oh, I like these because these are my favorites. These need to be adjusted for me. Can you give me a little brush?
I don't care if it's like a bank though. They see you stay there until I can send you money.
Okay, here.
Okay.
My gift is to you. Give it back.
All right, yes, sir. Always want to make sure your clippers are disinfected before you cut your customer. That way you don't give them no wingworm or no kind of, you know what I mean? Give me one of them, time that red time, Mr. Cole.
That's
Thank you. All right.
The wait for that transaction to be. When you hit it again, that's why it's up there.
All right. So now, same thing when we shaping up, right? We started the section. 1, 2, 3, 4. My section switches up when I do the shape up. So now when I do the shape up, the back is number 1. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Why do you think I make the back number 1?
To know how you gonna wind up the rest of it.
I'll do the back because the back the easiest. So come here, let me show y'all. Come on a little closer so y'all can see. So remember, when we started cutting, my number 1 was here. Now that I'm shaping up, my number 1 is here. So watch this. Look how clean that line is. Watch this. Look how clean that line coming out. See how that clean the line? You see that line? Now watch this. You want to make sure your joints are straight. Your lines are even with each other. That one ain't too far out than the other one. Now watch this. Guess what? After the haircut is done. You feel what I'm saying? The back easy. Might not clean up the neck, but guess what? The back is done. So now that's my number 1. So now I'm coming to my number 2. All right. This is where you got to hold the ear down with your finger. And you kind of want to hold your clippers and use the corner and bring them across the head. And this is where it kind of takes balance. You got to hold the clipper in your hand and not cut them. But that takes years of holding the clippers and using them to know how they work. It's almost like you have to learn your tools. Okay. Now we'll come around here. Same thing. Hold that ear down. You gotta use that finger. Stop bend that ear, because if you don't hold the jaw right, you're gonna hurt them. Okay. All right. Okay, now. 1, side 2, 3. Okay. Now, go in the front. To the front, right? When you're shaping up the front, you have to make an imaginary line. You don't want to push it all the way back. So you come all the way out front. And then you turn to your mirror and you look at your mirror. Okay? Now, this type of situation, you gotta look for the baby hairs. Same way with the razor comb, stretch the skin. Boom. Found the baby hairs. That's where the shape up is at now. You done with some sharp line? Okay. The front, I'm looking for the imaginary line. That way I don't push nothing back, because when you step back, you don't want to push no joint all the way back. You want to always stay on out front of the hairline. You stay on the front, you got something to work with, no matter if it's hair there or not. I'm always one of those way.
So in the front, you put it down.
Like this, look. Come look. I'm gonna put this on there. And look how I'm making the imaginary line. I'm pressing down on the skin. And then, so like, come here, see this? I gotta make this shape up, right? So, sorry, man. Sorry a little bit. So I look for the baby hairs. See them baby hairs? And come on the outside of the baby hair. And make your line. Now, the only reason I'm able to make my line is because the skin is clean. The skin is clean because we wiped it down with alcohol and spritz. All right. Now you come up. Now I'm looking at that point right there. Okay. Then you take your comb and flip it. And you flip it on this side. So now I know where to start to turn at now. Boom, boom, boom. Because now this point can match that. Or get close enough. You know what I mean? You might not get it exactly right, but you get it close enough. And you know why you get it close enough? Because in the end, did everybody sign this sheet up front?
No, that's
Yeah. I'm gonna take his beard down, right? But I'm not gonna shake his beard up too tough with the lines. You know why, Rick?
Because you don't want to push his into the beard, go too far into it.
And I can come behind it with the razor and do the tighten up work. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. Is my razor over there, Miles?
What do you mean the built-in one?
Yeah. No, the one that's disposable.
I see a black, with a
It
shape.
is like silver. Here it is. My favorite one right there. Right. All right. So when you're doing the shape up, you don't gotta shake. It's missing the S side. I need an S side. See if I got an S side. Lift up the white thing. See the S side.
Oh, woman, please. God, well, first of all, he had me the perfect. You really shaving?
I'm using the razor. I'm not shaving, shaping them up.
Yep. You the son and both the daughter? Yep. You the son and both the daughter, or the you my granddaughter? Oh.
Mr. Ron. Here. When you leave.
I need the inside. No. All right, but I'm
Now,
on.
I mean,
All right,
you ain't used to it, man. You are used to it.
come on, challenge. Don't try to play me like I'm a young boy. Who you think you think I'm scared of these dogs?
Let me see that.
All right.
Let me see if he got
You think I'm scared of these dogs? You think I'm scared of going to the woods?
Yeah.
All right, so now, the reason why, remember I was saying, you don't got to shape up too hard, because you can come back with the razor and finish up with the razor. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for the baby hairs, all right? And then we can also see them Jones was very sharp. They start irritating the skin. That's why I asked you what they hurt.
Listen, what's the name of that restaurant?
Stretch the skin, right? Stretch the skin from the bottom. Come up. You should be able to see the line that you want. Skin.
You been in that bakery in Holmesburg?
Okay. So you see how that line came in? Come on around here. Stretch the skin.
It's baking.
Stretch the skin. Bring it back. And what you're doing is just tightening up, getting them little baby hairs to bring your line in. And this is also called dry shaving. Because we ain't use no gel or no shaving cream or nut. But in order to do the dry shave, you have to be gentle. Because if you go too hard, you'll irritate the skin with the razor. So I would suggest that when y'all doing this, you might want to use some gel in the beginning. Let me get some. All right. So now I'm gonna turn my man to the mirror. I'm gonna check his beard lines. See how the beard lines looking. All right. I think this one side right here might be up just a little too high. But then I'm gonna come to the front of them. I'm like, okay, let me just tighten this side up a little bit.
You pull the skin up and cut down.
Yeah.
I think I heard you say that. Did you say that?
Say what?
How important it is to pull the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Tight.
That's all. That's the whole thing. Once you do that, now you got the Rick Ross beard. You know what I'm saying? Come with the mustache, then you lip a little bit. Go down. I'm going down on this mustache. Okay. Liner. And you shaking up the lip. You leave right there. Go right on the lip. Look, Miss Jackson. I mean, it's a lot. Right there at the edge of the lip. Man.
He over the court. He over the
That's good for you, so you don't cross the
Alright.
gun line no more.
Okay. At this point, I'm gonna open this back up.
Go ahead, a habitual line stepper, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. There we go. Look, put the clipper halfway. I'll just clip that. Now I'm gonna close it. Take this, and then little hairs underneath. Okay.
You don't do under the beam right here?
You do when you get come towards the end. That mirror, Mr. Hill. Okay. Then you get your same next and wipe down everywhere where you put that razor. Everywhere. On the ear, the neck. Underneath the neck. Right. And you can take some. Give me that orange can, the oil sheen. Yep.
Man, we go outside. Let's go outside. Did you just say your house off?
Yeah. One more. All right, sir. Thank you for being part of class. All right, so when you're done, can I clean my cookies? This is mine.
Oh, this is yours? Is that Mr.
Yeah,
Vince?
no, it's mine. Which one is this? This yours or mine? That's fine. Here you go. I see one. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead in the back and start class. You can come on in the back, y'all. All right, Ron.
All right, good looking, Playboy. Yes, sir. Get out, careful.
Right with y'all.
Good morning.
I've done nothing.
Yeah.
safe, man. It'll get dark. Miss Watts.
Yes.
You know what? Miles don't need it. Tell Miles get his textbook.
You heard him. He said, get your text.
What to say? This week.
Hey. All right. Miles, you're gonna have to break up your little situation because we're gonna have more students. So I'm gonna kind of need you to sit the desk right. And just letting you know, we got more people coming, so you might as well get used to it now, brother. That's all. All right. Here goes the rest of the chapter that we're on. Can you share that with them, please? Good morning, Miss Jackson.
Good morning, Mr. Ron.
How you doing? You okay?
Not really, but I'll be okay.
I hope you feel better, Miss Jackson.
Thank you so
Good
much.
morning,
I
everybody on
appreciate it.
Zoom.
Thank you.
Of course, we a family here, of course.
Oh, Mr. Miller.
Hello, Mr. Murray. I was
Okay.
watching you. I was watching you on the board, man. Looks like you've been in the gym, man. Looking good. Looking good.
A little bit, man. It's called rest and relaxation.
There you go. There you go.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, we all need it.
Yep.
And we all, especially being who we are.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So, we're gonna begin chapter 5 today. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. The students in the class have copies of chapter 6. I'm going to share it on my screen. Second. Let's go, baby. Screen. Okay. We are on chapter 6, which is general anatomy and physiology. General anatomy and physiology. Okay. The learning objectives on page 143. The learning objectives. After completing this chapter, you will be able to, number 1, define and explain the importance of anatomy, physiology, histology to the barbering profession. Number 2, you'll be able to describe the cells, their structure, and their reproduction. Number 3, identify and define the types of tissues found in the body. Number 4, define organs and body systems. Number 5, name the main body systems and explain their basic functions. All right. Chapter outline, introduction. Why study general anatomy and physiology? Why are anatomy and physiology important to you? Know about cells. Identify types of tissues. Discuss body systems and associated organs. I'm just going to ask my class that's present. What do you know about physiology? What do you know about anatomy? Do you know anything about anatomy or physiology, Miss Watson?
Is it a part of biology?
Okay, is it a part of biology? What do you think, Mr. Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, you said you think the same thing? Is it a part of biology?
Oh, no.
What do you think anatomy and physiology is?
Anatomy of the body.
It's the body.
It's the body. Yeah.
The body. So who can tell us what physiology is before we start reading? Anybody on? Go ahead. What you gonna say, Mr. Coles?
The physical part of the body.
The physical part of the body, he says. What about y'all on Zoom? What do y'all think physiology is?
It's the study of the body.
It's the who?
The study of the body.
Study of the body. Okay, well, we get ready to find out. So let's go to page 144 on the screen. Yes, ma'am. The statement's right there. And I'm going to read introduction. Barbers are licensed to touch and perform services on clients in ways that are not permitted in many other occupations. This is an important responsibility, and as a barber, you should consider it an honor to be able to aid others in achieving a greater sense of well-being. To earn this responsibility, you need to have a solid understanding of the anatomy and physiology of the human body. So now, here's what we're going to do. As we're reading, right, I'm asking y'all to get your index cards ready or your notebooks ready, because I want you to take notes on what's very important
And whatever I say is important, that means it's on the state board test. All right. So, why study general anatomy and physiology? Miles, can you come over here so I can share your textbook? Because there's writings on the computer that's different than the textbook. You can pull your chair up. Grab a brown chair and come on with me. All right, need a pen. Or Mr. Coles, do you see another textbook up there?
Wait, wasn't there one right here?
Well, we moved everything because of the graduation.
Is it?
You want to look for it while I use yours? Because I know you don't want it.
Space.
All right, just all right. Come on, y'all. Might be in the office, Miles.
Yeah, I know that.
All right, so general anatomy and physiology. Barbers should study and have a thorough understanding of general anatomy and physiology because understanding the human body functions as an integrated whole is a key component in understanding how a client's hair and skin may react to various treatments and services. Being able to recognize the difference between what is considered normal and what is considered abnormal in the body will assist you in knowing what requires referral to a physician. Understanding the bone, muscle, and nerve structure of the human body will help you determine how to provide services that are appropriate to your client. All right. Why are anatomy and physiology important to you? Define and explain the importance of anatomy, physiology, and histology to the barbering profession. The high-level overview of human anatomy and physiology will provide you with a basic knowledge of the structure and functions of the human body to assist your performance in the barbering field. This chapter focuses on the anatomy and physiology that is pertinent to the practice of barbering, such as an anatomical structure of the head that provides a foundation for designing haircut and beard styles or performing a proper shave. This chapter will provide you with the definitions and map of the human body as a point of reference to be used when you discuss specific services later in the text. So basically, we're learning about the human body. As I always say, when you become a barber, you become a head doctor because you're dealing with the head. The head is the most important part of the body. If you don't know about something, you can't do things correctly. And not even do things correctly. Here you go, Ron Miles. Thank you. You can sit back right there. If you don't do things correctly, you can mess something up. And somebody's head is too important to mess up because you might not just mess them up, you might hurt them. All right. So and we're at the bottom of page 144. The high-level overview of human anatomy and physiology will provide you with a basic knowledge of the structure and functions of the human body to assist you in the performance of the barber field. Did I read that already? Mm-hmm. All right, so we at the bottom. On your worksheet, it looks like it's in another language, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going. It's well, if you can read and you have that capability, but we're gonna write it on the board just so everybody can make sure they understand. Because sometimes I read it and sound it out and it's not the right word. All right.
No, I was saying the words next to it.
Okay. So these will be our definitions for this chapter. So Miles, can you read me that first definition at the bottom of 144?
Anatomy or physiology?
All right. So our first word is anatomy. ANATOMY. Now, for those that are on Zoom, I'm going to stop the screen so I can let you see the notes that's on the board, and you can pull your textbook up on your email. All right. So our first definition is anatomy. ANATOMY.
What page is this in the textbook, please?
144.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Anatomy. Anatomy is the study of the human body, structures that can be seen with the naked eye, and how the body parts are organized. It is the science of the structure of organisms or of their parts. So that's what anatomy is. All right. So just write that word down, because that's a long definition. But these are going to be our key words. And later on, you can put the definitions on your index cards. That way you'll have flashcards. All right. Our next vocabulary word, physiology, which is PHYSIOLOGY. Physiology. Physiology is the study of the functions and activities performed by the body's structure. It is the study of the functions and activities performed by the body's structure. The ending ology means study of. So whenever we see ology, that means study of, the study of something. Okay? All right. So going on to page 145. 145. What was that? Sir. 145. Barbers. Barbers should be aware of the ways in which massage manipulations, heat, or absorptive products used in the practice of barbering might affect physiological activities of the body, such as increasing the circulation. Barbers should also be aware of certain physiological stresses caused by prolonged standing or repetitive movements that may affect their own skeletal or circulatory systems, as well as the preventive measures that can help minimize the occurrence of associated occupational disorders. All right. Know about the cells. Miles, I need your help because I'm going to need you to call it out. So can you know about the cells? Read it at the top for me.
Cells are the basic units of a living thing.
No, start at the top after reading this section. It says, know about the cells.
Know about the cells. After reading this section, you will be able to describe cells, their structure, and their
reproduction. So stop right there. So after reading this section, we'll be able to describe cells. We'll be able to know their structure and their reproduction. So the next vocabulary word that I'm writing on the board is cells. S-E-L-L-S, cells. Cells are the basic units of all living things, from bacteria to plants to animals, including human beings. Without cells, life do not exist. As a basic functional unit, the cell is responsible for carrying on all life processes. There are trillions of cells in the human body, and they vary widely in size, shape, and purpose. Basic structure of the cell. The cells of all living things are composed of a substance called, what's your vocabulary word in your book?
cells are a basic unit of living things, from bacteria to plants to animals, including human beings.
That's not what I'm looking for. Let me see your book. Okay, so where we're at on the basic structure of the cell. The cells of all living things are composed of a substance called protoplasm. Protoplasm. So write this word down. And these definitions are going to be in the book and in the chapter that we're reading. So protoplasm is spelled P-R-O-T-O. P-L-A-S-M.
Question,
Protoplasm. Yes, ma'am.
is this gonna be on the written part of the test?
Some of it may be. Some of it may be. This is definitely this is definitely something you need to know, a part of the curriculum. Okay. All right. Okay. So basic structure of the cell. Cells of all living things are composed of substance called protoplasm. Protoplasm is a colorless, jelly-like substance found inside cells in which food elements such as proteins, fats, carbohydrates, mineral salts, and water are present. You can visualize the protoplasm of a cell as being similar to a raw egg white. In addition to protoplasm, most cells also include a nucleus, cytoplasm, and the cell membrane. So if you look at the bottom of the page and you see that picture right there, it's showing you a diagram of what a cell looks like. So I know this might be a bit much, but we in science right now. All right. So the next vocabulary word, which is on the bottom, the nucleus. Write that down. Nucleus. N-U-C-L-E-U-S. The nucleus is the dense, active protoplasm found in the center of the cell. It plays an important part in cell reproduction and metabolism. You can visualize the nucleus as the yolk in the middle of a raw egg. All right. The next word is cytoplasm. Spell that for me, Miles.
C-Y-T-O-P-L-A-S-M.
C-Y-T-O-P-L-A-S-M. Cytoplasm. And read, what is cytoplasm, Miles?
Cytoplasm is a watery fluid that surrounds the nucleus of the cells and is needed for growth, reproduction, and self-repair. It is part of the protoplasm of the cell.
Okay. So now we're going on to page 146. 146. All right. All right. 146. The top of the page, it says the cell membrane. So either underline that, Mr. Hill, Ms. Watson, and Mr. Coles, because it's spelled out correctly. The cell membrane, well, it's missing an L. But the cell membrane is the cell wall that encloses the protoplasm and permits soluble substances to enter and leave the cell. All right. Cell reproduction and division. Can I get a reader? Volunteer reader.
Cells have the ability to reproduce, thus providing new cells for the growth and replacement of worn or injured ones. Mitosis is the usual process of cell reproduction in human tissues that occur when the cell divides into two identical cells called daughter cells. Two small structures near the nucleus called
centrolis.
Yeah, Yeah, centrolas. Move to each side during the mitosis. Yeah, mitosis process to help divide the cell. As long as conditions are favorable, the cell will grow and reproduce. Favorable conditions include an adequate supply of food, oxygen, and water, suitable temperatures, and ability to eliminate waste
Products.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If conditions become unfavorable, the cell will become impaired or may die. Unfavorable conditions include toxins, poisons, disease, and injury.
Okay. So if you look at the bottom of the page, it shows you different types of cells. We have the interphase, then you have the early prophase, the middle prophase. Like, this is really scientific stuff. This is stuff that you probably didn't think you was going to be learning when you signed up for barber school. All right. So let's move to 147. 147. And after we finish this next paragraph, or this section called identify types of tissues, we're going to stop for a 15-minute break. All right. That's cool. All right. So who wants to you want to keep going, Mr. Hill, or somebody else? All right. So 147, identify the types of tissues. Now, Miles, our vocabulary is in a different language, so I'm gonna need your help with this. Come on up here and help us.
You can barely see this joint on this paper.
Right. All right, we'll go ahead and start at the types of tissues. You got it, Mr. Hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna be reading?
Yep. Identify the types of tissues.
It's a collection of similar cells that perform a particular function.
Oh, no. Read all the way at the top.
Identify types of tissue. As readers section, you will be able to identify and define the types of tissues found in the body.
So there's different types of tissue in the body. And the reason why that's important is different types of tissue on the skin. So when you cutting somebody, that matters because you're using sharp clippers, you're using razors, you're using stuff that if you cut somebody, it's a matter of if you cut them too deep. You know what I mean? So all that has to be in consideration. All right, continue on, Mr. Hill. That first word is tissue.
Tissue is a collection of similar cells that perform a particular function. Each kind of tissue has a specific function and can be recognized by its characteristic appearance. Body tissue are composed of large amounts of water along with various other substances. These are 4 types of tissue in the body.
All right, stop right there. So now, get your index cards, get a whole separate index card, and put down 4 types of body tissue. 4 types. All right. The first type is connective tissue. I'm gonna write it on the board. Connective. These are 4 types of tissue. 4 types of tissue. Okay. You have connective tissue. Okay. Connective tissue is fibrous tissue that binds together, protects, and supports the various parts of the body. Examples of connective tissue are bone, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, blood, lymph, and adipose tissue, a technical term for fat. So look, put on a side note to connective tissue, put adipose, which is ADIP, ADIPOSE, adipose tissue. Now, when you put adipose tissue, put next to it fat. So like, Ricky, this is adipose tissue right here. Well, you a workout boy. I had to look and make sure. I tried to do it without her looking.
I'm not fat, I'm endocrine.
Well, you a lady, so that's different. This is adipose tissue. It's being okay. See, we getting to it. We getting to it. All right. The next type of tissue is epithelial tissue. I don't know if I said it right, but it's spelled EPITH. EPITHELIAL. Epithelous. Epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. That's our second tissue of the body. Epithelial. I'll take that from you, Mr. Coles. I'm wrong with epithelial. Is a protective cover.
Epithelial.
Oh, go ahead. Well, how you say it, Ms. Jackson?
It's epithelial.
Epithelial.
Okay.
Epithelial. Epithelial tissue is a protective covering on body surfaces such as skin, mucous membranes, the tissue inside the mouth, the lingering of the heart, digestive and respiratory organs and glands.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
You're welcome. I got you.
All right. The next type of tissue is muscle tissue. Muscle tissue, spelled MUSCLE, muscle tissue. That is the tissue that contracts and moves various body parts of the body. Muscle tissue. The next type of tissue is nerve tissue. Nerve tissue, which spelled NERVE, and it carries messages to and from the brain and controls and coordinates all body functions. Nerve tissue is composed of special cells known as neurons that make up the nerves, brain, and spinal cord. So hearing all of this, it's very important that as being a barber, you have to try your best to stay healthy, because you need your body to function properly in order to cut hair. You know, a lot of people, you think it's that easy. You know, it's like mind and everything goes into one in doing this, you know? So, all right, we're going to stop. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back at 11:15. So that's going to really be like a 20-minute break. No, actually, yeah. 15, 20, 25-minute break. All right. So we're going to take a break, come back, and finish up in this chapter. All right. Any questions on Zoom?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment real quick on the importance of health. Just a lot of people, if you haven't heard of the endocannabinoid system, you might want to look that up, because that is the system that regulates or make sure that all your other systems, your respiratory system, you know what I mean, your kidney system, all the other digestive systems work properly. So, you know, that was just something I wanted to add.
Well, let me ask you this, Mel. Can you get some information and share it on Crew?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, share it
I'll
on
do that.
Crew, because I think that's good information. And I just want to encourage everybody that, you know, go on Crew. If you on Crew, share your haircuts, share your questions. If you come across certain things, that's what that app is for. So yeah, Mel, definitely when you get a chance, we appreciate it. All right, so yeah, listen, man, I'm gonna log off. I'll see everybody at 11.